It was disgusting. And then I went into the bathroom that I hadn't gone in my first visit, and the toilet was halfway through the floor.
Welcome back, everybody, to Easy Homes University. In this episode, we're just going to do a Q&A on mobile homes, your questions, give you some answers of our experience. So we appreciate everybody giving their questions. And let's take the first one.
All right, the first one, this came from a recent decision we made to actually do a demolition on a home rather than buy it and fix it up. Mm-hmm. So the question was why we didn't take the property and fix the roof. Well, when I was the one who bought this home or started the buying process, and when I went back for the closing, I did a more thorough walkthrough. This was a older couple who had lived in this home for 30 years. They were the original owners. It was a 1987 double wide. Not a bad looking home. Their two adult sons were living in the two other bedrooms, so I wasn't able to get into those spaces when I looked at the home the first time. They were selling the home to me for $1,800. I thought, well, it's a pretty good deal. That particular park charges $650 a month lot rent, and they don't forgive any lot rent. So I had all those things in my mind as I was buying this home. But anyway, I went back for the closing, did a more thorough walkthrough, and I made some new discoveries. In the laundry room, there was literally a bag, plastic bag, holding water above the ceiling. And it would look like a pregnant roof or a pregnant ceiling. It was disgusting. And then I went into the bathroom that I hadn't gone in my first visit, and the toilet was halfway through the floor. And I went into the two bedrooms that I didn't go into before. What a mess. So I came back out of that into the living room. The sellers were devastated when I told them I was going to back out of the deal, but I did offer them an opportunity to do a demolition. So we chose demolition. We made money on the demolition, and that was my exit strategy. Yep. I made the exit strategy kind of midway through the game, but it was an exit strategy that we had available to us that we didn't have available to us maybe a couple of years ago. So that's why we chose to knock it down. We'll show you a video of that demolition, versus fixing it up and investing thousands of dollars into a home that we may have sat on for 6 months or a year to sell it.
Yep. Good answer.
Yep. Next question, Dan. What markets are you in?
Well, I'm in the stock market. That's not the question they're asking, are they? No. What markets? We're in the Midwest market predominantly. So that would be, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio. We're also out east, in Pennsylvania, Maryland. We're also, in states like Kansas, out west. We've got licensing in Texas. Huge state with just thousands of homes, land and in parks. We're in New York, Georgia, so really we're all over the United States. But but it's strategic. We want to make sure certain states that we're licensed in that make sense, and so that's the answer to that question.
Yeah, half of our deals when we measured the other day. The last couple hundred homes we've done, half of those deals are outside of our home state.
Yeah.
So, and that seems to be a trend in that direction, that we're doing more out of state than in state.
Yeah.
Next question is, would you say that you guys predominantly list homes for sellers versus purchasing and flipping them?
No, I would say we predominantly sell homes, purchase to flip, versus listing. However, we do listings. I like listings when they're appropriate. And what makes them appropriate? Well, a couple reasons, but the main one is if it's just, I just don't feel comfortable with investing my money 100% on a deal that I'm not going to get the margin that I want to get. And it could be different for any of you, but for us, we have a certain amount that we like to make, And if we're not going to make that, then I'm gonna list the home. I'd rather make something than nothing. Is what I guess what I'm saying. But most of them are just purchase to flips.
Right. And when you're listing a home, you do lose a little bit of control, unless you're able to sort of gain that control. But a listing can be sort of walked around by buyers and other investors, where when you buy a home, you have control. You own the title, you own the home, and now you control it. So listing does have some risk with it. Another question here is, we have seen an increasingly large leap of requests from folks wanting us to list their homes over the last 5 months or so. So they're getting, this particular questioner is asking, he's seeing a rise in people asking them to help them basically sell their homes.
Yeah, and that could be a different kind of listing. I mean, when we do listings, we're listing to our sellers on the wholesale market, or we're listing them to to retail. We also have a new listing site that's going to be launched where people like yourself or investors can list their home on our site, and so we're hoping that there's going to be a lot more listings, because it'll be a powerful listing site for anybody to list their homes with tons of visits. But hopefully that works out for everybody. And for as far as listing goes, people are looking for someone to, just goes to show, they're looking for somebody to help them sell their homes. So you can see there's a market for that.
Absolutely. The same questioner is asking about how we deal with homes, mobile homes, and investing in mobile homes in the Midwest winter weather.
Yeah, well, we are who we are in the Midwest, right? We've got a lot of weather here. It's usually cold, lots of snow. When we buy these homes, you have to deal with winterizing them, or you're going to have to deal with changing the utilities in our name. So you're going to have some added cost to your basis. So we have to do that, dial the temperature down to 50 degrees. It's just an added cost. It's just part of doing business in the Midwest. But Dan and I have become experts in winterizing, and we have contractors that we hire to do that. So, we just look at it as a part of cost of doing business. And I guess I'd ask the same thing for the people out in like Texas and out south. How do you deal with all that heat?
Right.
And rattlesnakes under your home and everything else.
Yeah, actually, I think the detriment, that winter or the cold weather can cause other people. We see it as an opening for us.
We do, yeah.
Some folks say, I'm just not going to buy any more homes in December, January, or February, and that just leaves the market open to us.
It does, yeah. And
we're not afraid of it, so we'll go in and buy it, winterize it, and take care of it. It's obviously easier to handle those homes that are in your backyard, but trying to walk a guy in through winterization down in Tennessee, long distance, has some more challenges to it.
It does. One good thing about having this business in the winter in the Midwest is you don't have to cut lawns, weed whacking or anything like that. So
and the fleas are much more rare.
They are, yeah.
So. Yeah, and so the last question here from this gentleman is, how do you find homes for free or so cheap? And I don't know if we should share that.
Well, yeah, I mean, like anything else, it all comes down to the situation people are in, the condition of the home, and we're not afraid to make an offer that if we're not a little embarrassed by our offer, then that just means we didn't offer, we offered too much. And the worst that someone can say is no, and we're used to no. So I think that's one of the answers I have. So.
Yeah, and you have to talk to a lot of sellers, obviously, to find homes for free or for cheap. It's you can't just talk to 5 sellers. You got to talk to 500 sellers, and we've figured out how to talk to 500 sellers in a very short period of time.
Yeah,
and we can share those sellers with you in our upcoming episodes.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, we really appreciate the questions. We hope our answers were insightful and helpful. And for anybody that's looking to, has a question after this, you can look at the comment section below, and just send us your questions. We'll be glad to answer them in upcoming episodes. Thanks, everybody.
Take care.